Everybody should watch this interview because they need some insight on how they can really, help themselves take care of themselves on a level of security. Hi, everybody. This is Ageless Ambitions on Lux Media Studios. I have such a great opportunity to introduce you to two beautiful people that have an amazing business that you guys just need to know about. But first, I want to start with my friend, who is Dianna Lammerts. And she is a pro. A pro at journalism, at copywriting, and she was in PR. She helped me so much with everything that I was doing PR. And you used to be a newscaster. So you used to be in my position a little bit. So that's so fun to learn about. And I don't think a lot of people know that. So tell me a little bit more about your background.
Well, happy today day at first. I started saying that because at one point I was in so many different time zones, especially when I met you on Clubhouse as well.
Because you're in Germany right now, right?
I'm in Germany right now, right? But on Central Time.
Okay.
You are actually right. Only a few people know that. I was a radio news anchor for years. So I woke people up in the morning. And sometimes it was quite funny when I was also a morning host sidekick. And when I would go to the doctors in the morning, the assistant would greet me, like, Miss Lammerts, you lied this morning. You said it's not going to be rainy, but it's raining outside. And I said, well, I can only say what the Weather Channel told us. So but it was an amazing time. I had a lot of fun. And it's quite exciting.
So did that job of being an anchor lead you to PR? And then from there, you went into journalism? Like, what did you do?
Mm-hmm. I actually ended up in journalism, even though I was super shy. I wouldn't say a word, but when I'm doing a job, I'm on a mission. Okay. And then I'm an extrovert. So the introvert turns into an extrovert as soon as I'm on a job. And that's how I ended up at the radio station. Then I studied communication science. I went into journalism, became a radio host, a news anchor. And then at one point, I just said, you know what, I want to do something different, and I'm going to go to the other side and basically write press releases that journalists want to read. Because a lot of times we get press releases and it's like, okay, what is your purpose? Why are you sending this to me? Right. And there's so many people with great products, great missions and amazing things. But they don't know how to communicate
it.
Yes.
So that's what you're strong. They need a strong message, and that's how you're going to get to the point when it comes to their business or even, personal people that are trying to be entertainers. They just don't know how to communicate anything. So that's what copywriting is all about, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. And one thing, so journalism is part of being in news and all that. You almost have to go to broadcast school or journalism school to be in that position of being on TV and in the radio, right? Is that how that works?
Well, every country is different. And in Germany, for example, you have, in order to call yourself an editor, you can call yourself a journalist, but not everyone can call themselves an editor. You have to go through a 1.5 or 3 year training. Wow. And I did that 1.5 years because I went to uni. So that's why I could cut it in half. And I became an editor.
And so I now, you got this whole thing going with journalism, copywriting, all kinds of stuff in PR, but then you really want to expand yourself. And this is how I got to know you better through this other business that you're doing with your partner, Roy Smith, right? So it's called Vikings ESP. I really don't know what the ESP stands for, so maybe you can kind of give us that. But it's like a concierge of security, right? It's like all these things that people can look you up and find out what you can do to really protect yourself on some levels, or just need security. I don't know. You guys need to really tell me everything that your company can do for us, because I know I need it sometimes.
Well, it's Viking Executive Protection and Viking Tactical Security. We have two. One does the executive protection. The reason Roy and I came together is because he's a security specialist, and I come from the background with PR and building a company culture. So we merged our ecosystems because we believe only when you merge ecosystems, you can create something bigger. If you come from the same industry, then you see the same things. I see things differently, and I can challenge him, he can challenge me, because he doesn't come from the PR industry. So when he has questions that, okay, this doesn't make sense, please explain, I can explain.
So that's
however, yeah, and but when it comes to security, he is the better person to talk about because he's a professional, especially with his background.
So Roy, let's go. Tell me about your business. Tell me all about it. It's for high level clients. It's for security it's like the security is the new necessity, right?
Yes, it is. That is actually one of our taglines. Security is the new necessity. For the simple fact of today's society, the volatility of things that are going on in the media, in the world, locally, politically, socially, security is needed on all levels. Like
I was thinking when you were saying journalistic in terms of that, like during the January 6th crazy stuff, when they were just smashing everything and everything was being vandalized in terms of just the equipment. Is that something that you would handle so that probably wouldn't happen?
Yes, actually, we do. We do work with media groups and journalists to protect them when they go on locations for various areas. We were there for November for the elections. We've been there protecting journalists for other volatile situations down on the border because of the whole immigration issues and going on down there. Wow. So yes, we do provide protection for the journalists, for the equipment. The Super Bowl was another one where we worked with a very major media network.
Right now, we're getting attacked while they're online, right? Like when they're live, there's some people being attacked, right? So they need protection too. And that used to never have to be that way, right?
No, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. It wasn't like that before, but it is like that now, and that's how come we say it's the new necessity. You really can't even do it, and we're trying to educate high net value CEOs, executives, as well as we work with politicians, even on a city level, because they are our targets as well.
It's starting now that level versus the school system and all that was not even a big part of all the security that's probably needed. Now it's even is down in terms of even just school people, like their districts and all that needs to be kind of covered.
We've actually worked and had conversations with school board members.
See, school board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Once again, all it takes is a group of people to not be happy with a measure that a school board is trying to pass, and all of a sudden now you have a volatile situation. And in today's day, I think people have lost the ability to communicate, and even if they don't, if they disagree,
Diana's around too, and
you can't communicate.
Yeah, and I feel like if they know that that's there and that they have the opportunity to have something like your service there, it'll be more calm. If they know these kind of services will be around, that they wouldn't necessarily be as volatile, right? They would just kind of be calm.
Yes. Typically, what the main thing that we try to do is we try to be there's two ways that we go about our job. One is we try to be a physical presence inside the area, inside the arena where the individual is at, because that physical presence, it takes the eyes off of our client, it puts it onto us. So now they're more worried about, okay, who we are. So now instead of them being angry and focused on them, they're, okay, well, who is this guy? What is he doing? So now that anger channels to us, in which we are equipped to handle it. We're equipped to verbally de-escalate situations. That way the client doesn't have to get involved, that we get involved in it. We've done that with in the automotive industry where we had to do that. So those are the areas. And then the other way that we do our job is what we call covert. And covert protection is, for instance, you're going to go and meet with a couple of your friends. You guys are going to go to a nice coffee shop. Well, guess what?
Or in
We're
the
going to have a couple agents that may be there.
Okay, so this is more about, so it can't just be, it just can't be like CEOs and their top people like for security. This could be like an everyday person who's just not comfortable sometimes to be out there and meet your friends.
Exactly. Just once again, if you feel uncomfortable situation, if you have any glimmer of a notion that your life or your safety is in jeopardy, then you need to take the next step. There's nothing wrong with being safe and secure. It's just like insurance. You pay for car insurance in the event that something is going to happen. Why don't you do that for your own life? We would be that insurance policy
Like
to make
almost
sure
like
that
going to a
something goes up.
concert these days, like you're feeling like something can go wrong with somebody's, just like what happened in Vegas or something. You are protected to have your friends around you and let's go have a nice time. And you know that you're going to feel more safe. Isn't that crazy to think that way? But it's available. And that's why your company needs to be known. And I wanted to get out there so that people have the opportunity to have your friends go to this outdoor concert, right? And do get to party and have a good time and not even think in the world anything could go wrong. That would be so, that's something we all need to know.
And there's often a misconception that they need a bodyguard. But as Roy said, there's covert protection. And we offer services as in you go out with your girlfriends, but you don't want to worry about roofie in your glass. You don't worry about
somebody putting something in your glass.
Yeah, that happens so quickly. It's like you don't pay attention. You take a selfie, but our agents are around. Or you want to go to the bathroom and then you don't want to be bothered. It's like this is when our agents are around. Or your kids are going to a club, but you don't want to be a parent. You want to be parent. So what you can do is you can have agents around. Or if you
I think that is just so cool. Like you just can go along with your day. I saw something on TikTok and this girl was explaining that this table of really nice girls just having a afternoon out and they're talking. And then this group of people walked in like they were going to come and eat and they really didn't eat. And they scoped out all the bags that were around this table. And somehow he scooted a backpack and they left with her backpack, even while everybody was still talking. Isn't that crazy? Like to me, to have somebody there to say that could never happen, right? With the security that you guys do.
Correct. That's one of the tactics that we try to teach and we explain, and we call it situational awareness. Okay. When you're with your friends, you are focused on your friends. When you're at a company networking event, you're focusing on that. Mm-hmm. You're not so focused on your surroundings, on your environment, about your safety. Well, that's where we come in, because our job is not to be engaged into your conversation. Our job is to watch what's going on around you. And if we see something that doesn't look right, we're either going to diffuse it or we're going to go ahead and escort you and your party away from that situation. Case in point, I had a gentleman that I had talked to in the past. He traveled in the United States. It wasn't even international. Okay. He and his wife went to Colorado. And I said, okay. I said, well, this is the things that you probably need to look out for. And he was like, okay, thank you, Roy. But the thing is, he did not listen to my advice. And what happened was someone at the airport it was a criminal element, watched him. They followed him. They broke into their car. They stole their luggage. Inside their luggage, they had over $40,000 in money and jewelry, and it was gone. Because they didn't have someone with them that could give them right then and there, protect them at the moment, give them advice on how to travel, how not to be detected, what not to do, and to make sure that they would arrive at their destination safe.
Do you guys do some kind of seminars that people can pay to like really sit down and learn some of the tactics that people do and the way that you can avoid those things? Do you have that kind of service, or is it more about just taking on your service one-on-one?
No, we do consultations where we can actually end up speaking to individuals about situational awareness, about their safety. We do a security threat assessment, and then that can lead in just a good discussion. Right now, we are not doing seminars because there are some very, very very talented and well-known agents in this industry who do seminars, and they do
Okay.
great.
Okay.
You know,
So you're just
I want to
focusing
reach
on.
out to the individuals.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I enjoy more reaching out one-on-one to individuals or to small corporations and companies. I did a situational awareness for a small company in Houston earlier this year for the same thing. It was just to give them situational awareness of how to avoid workplace violence, you know, because they had a situation with workplace violence.
Yeah, that's a
So
good thing to work.
that's how
Our world is.
Dianna and I, we want to connect with
Thank
clients.
God you guys are here. Hey, like, can we, like, we're going to insert, I feel like we should insert that one situation of that fan or somebody that came out of the stands and you guys got him and snapped
Oh,
him up in like 2 seconds. So we can put this on here so that they can see what kind of the fast way that you guys just went about taking care of that and smashing it down so that nothing happened that night. So do you do like personal, like when it comes to people's like security or how they handle their, you know, their name and getting it, if it's taken and they take all your stuff and they get your passwords, do you do stuff like that too? Or is it just mainly physical?
so we have the ability to do cybersecurity as well.
Okay.
Part of when we go in to do a security risk assessment,
Okay.
we're going to evaluate all aspects of what is potential threats. So part of the cybersecurity evaluation is about how you are Wi-Fi protected, who comes into your house, who has access, who knows your passwords. Do you have house cleaners? Do you have maids? Do you have landscapers? You know, because if they have access to it, that means that it's out there.
And there's another aspect, what a lot of people don't see. They see, oh, they're protecting me in case someone wants to harm me, but we also protect everyone from trauma. Because if something happens to you, you might not get physically harmed, but you have trauma. If someone comes and holds a gun to your head and threatens you, you have trauma. And we also did the math. Especially business people and executives, they can save up to, if they are not busy, 3 weeks. And if they're very busy and high threat, 6 weeks of time they are wasting as in hours. The maximum, I think, was 5,400 hours. That is hundreds of thousands of dollars a year that they are wasting, because if they had executive protection, they don't only protect them physically, but also their time. They can reclaim their time. But that's a lot of what people usually don't see, because all they think is bodyguard.
I see. And you guys don't necessarily like, when I was reading in your website that you don't necessarily come around with these things on and you part of the bodyguard world. It's like very incognito kind of thing. It's not like it's just out there. Is that right?
Yes. We can be in a suit, kind of like how I am today, or we can be casual in jeans and a t-shirt and just blend into the area. So it just depends on
the client one?
Number one, the client,
okay,
and what they want, and then also the environment of where it's at.
Okay. Because if it's like at a loud, like country western, like night out in like say Vegas and everything, everybody's drinking and somebody's in a suit sitting next to you, I don't think that's gonna fly, right? So you want to just kind of blend in. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but you would be surprised of how many of the clients, they want us in suits. They want us to stand out.
Okay.
You know, yeah, they do.
They want to feel special, like
but,
they're being protected. So that's
exactly,
helping them like,
you know,
like they're safe.
But we have the ability to adapt to whatever the client wants. You know, one of my colleagues, he had a client who had a house on the beach in Florida. He was in shorts and t-shirts every single day of the week.
Oh,
because that's what the client wanted. That's what he was wearing. Yeah.
So is there anything we didn't touch on to let people understand what your company is all about and how they can get a hold of you? Because I feel like, you know, in this day and age, when it comes to women in LA, like I was supposed to go downtown to the LA Fashion Week, and I just didn't want to go by myself. Like I didn't feel like it was safe to go down there. So is there a way to get in touch with you to get maybe like prices or how that works so that, maybe they can, it could be something they can attain and they don't even think they can, is my point. Like maybe that it's untouchable for a lot of people, but maybe it can be.
And that's the misconception of what we do. A lot of people think that it's only for Hollywood celebrities and
Me and Dianna,
musicians. Exactly, but it's not. The prices are very affordable.
Okay.
Case in point, we had a young lady who wanted to go out for her birthday. It was 6 of them.
Okay.
So as they figured it all out, we crunched the numbers. It was the service for having 2 agents with them to drive them, take them to where they're going to go, make sure they got to the restaurant and the nightclub was no different than them actually renting a limousine for the whole night.
You see, they don't know that. People don't know this. That would be so amazing. And the safety of that is so important. This day and age, like you said, Dianna, the way they put things in drinks and stuff like that, or follow them home. That's the other thing in LA. People are following people home that are in nice cars and then they rob them. It's just crazy. So I am so thankful you guys gave us some insight on your company, Vikings ESP, and we're going to put it up that we know that you can they can get a hold of you. So can you give us your Instagram or your website page so that we can totally put that down, and everybody should watch this interview because they need some insight on how they can really, help themselves, take care of themselves on a level of security.
Yes, by all means. I know Dianna has all of our links, but they can reach us directly through our website. They can email myself or email Dianna. They can call our headquarter corporate office and they can get in touch with us. So there's so many ways. We are always available. My phone never shuts off, even when I'm on a plane. I'm always accessible.
Okay.
So, I'm always there to speak with people and to listen to what their concerns are and what their trouble areas are and do what I can to try to mitigate that and make them feel safe.
This is awesome. Thank you so much, Roy. And anything else, Dianna?
And our phone number is actually very easy. It's 8446-Viking. So it's easy to remember. And the website is vikingeps.com. And our handle on Instagram is Viking_EPS because Viking EPS was already taken. So we came up with a solution. But if you enter Viking Security Austin, Texas, you can find us on Google as well. And again, it's 8446-Viking, and you can always call us and contact us.
Well, I appreciate you guys being on the show. Thank you for taking the time. Ageless Ambitions on Lux Media Studios. And I appreciate you guys for being with me today. Thank you guys so much.
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radical, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient NASET. NASET increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.